Hey, peace and blessings, everybody. So, I was thinking about, just this whole mental health thing, this whole mental emotional thing, and one of the things that I'm coming to the conclusion about is that more of us are, I guess you could say, mentally and emotionally damaged in some form or fashion. A lot of us, I believe, need some type of mental, emotional therapy. You know, um, I was listening to Charlemagne. He was speaking about an interview, the book that he wrote, and he was just, he'd been like one of the faces of pushing this whole um, mental health, like awareness thing, because of his own personal experiences and really just listening to his story, it just made me think about some of my own personal stories and some of my own personal experiences, and I think that a lot of us have so much of this in common. And the thing is that a lot of us have been loved by an unhealthy form of love for so long. Whether it been from a guardian, parents, just the culture itself, schools, just society itself, period. There's a lot of unhealthy forms of love that sits around us, and our society itself has a lot of unhealthy social programs, unhealthy social programs, pardon me. And just all of that, man, it has made to, it has made something that's abnormal normal, something that is unhealthy seem healthy. I mean, we have come to a point to where we have just learned how to cope with some things, and we've done it so proficiently that we don't feel that nothing's wrong with us. We don't, like, from the inside looking out, we don't see anything being wrong with us. And even sometimes from the outside looking in at someone, we can't recognize anything wrong. You know what I'm saying? And but when we really, I mean, I think this is just one proof, and it's that when we really look at society and the way it's set up, right, and especially like in the U.S., and it's that the U.S. doesn't have too many things set in place to where it actually tries to prevent problems, and it actually tries to cure a problem. You know what I'm saying? It's like everything is something that just deal with symptoms. It helps us deal with the symptoms of the problem, but it's not the whole medical field or whatever. It's not designed to necessarily prevent certain things from happening and actually cure it once it has happened. In a sense, you understand what I'm saying. Of course, they have a practice in regards to how they try to get rid of cancer, right? But again, even that is a practice. It's not necessarily something that they're sure is gonna work. But anyway, I hope you understand what I'm saying, because when you look at that and you look at our society and you look at what I just said about things unhealthy seeming or appearing healthy, um, from promoting alcohol, cigarettes, and probably so many other different things. We use so many different other things to cope with society, to cope with things that we've experienced, to cope with things that should happen to us. And it's just a lot of us, man. I think it becomes a bit easier once we are financially in a good place, but it sticks out more for a person that isn't financially in a good place, and they're struggling financially, and they have responsibilities, and they have kids and things like that. And so when you have the burden of these things pressuring, um, in addition to all of the damage that is already there, in early from a child's early development, early upbringing, all of the things that a child, a baby, a toddler, whatever, a young person has suffered up to a particular point and continues to suffer a lot of time. Because we reach a point to where, how they say, hurt people. We reach a point to where we continue to abuse each other in different kind of ways, and we make light of it. It becomes fun. And someone was just sharing me earlier about how men suffer from a lot of. Matter of fact, it was my friend Renee Verdea. We was talking about it, and she was saying how Men suffer from a lot of physical, not necessarily physical abuse from women. Men suffer from physical abuse from women, but we suffer more so from verbal abuse from women. And I'm talking about from a child on up. The mother has a tendency to talk to the little boy a certain kind of way. And it can become abusive when you really think about it. It can become emotionally and mentally abusive without just necessarily getting into an example. But the thing about it, it has become such a norm to where it's accepted and it's looked at as okay. That we have rationalized it and say, well, I understand why you do it, I understand why she does it, or so on and so forth, and has made it kind of somewhat okay. And so the male runs around broken, probably more than a female in some aspects, but is forced to never show it. If you ever show it, you acting like a girl, you acting like a sissy, you weak, you this, you that. And so while the man is to always appear to be like a Superman, the man is really fucked up in a lot of ways, especially the black male, the one that's really under attack by the system, by the government, in so many different forms, with the fashion. And so, and it's not to just make this totally about him, because I'm saying this mental and emotional piece, I believe, man, it affects almost everybody. I believe a lot of people have went through mental and emotional trauma and has only covered it up with different forms of gratification while still suffering, But when you look at these streets and why some of these guys are so quick to just kill each other so quick, it's because a lot of these dudes are mentally and emotionally damaged. They don't know how to cope or deal with certain things as a result of these sensitive areas. It's so easy to offend. I'm from the streets. I'm not of the streets today, but I'm from these streets. So, I don't recall myself being as sensitive. Yeah, I have a big thing about respect, but I still have a big thing about respect. But I'm saying today, you can't even really correct the brother with respect without a brother getting offended. It's like, it's so crazy. One of the things that I was telling brother when I first come home, I say, man, you have to, I was trying to help a brother out, 'cause I know he still was one of these guys in the streets. He's still gonna pop that pistol, all that. And so I used to tell him, but he was around my age, and he's going to a place where young guys at. And I say, bro, you gotta stay away from that, because these young people will make you kill them in regards to how they deal with correction. If a person stumble you or bump you a certain way, whatever, everybody drinking, you gotta, damn, brother, you ain't gonna say excuse me, instead of the brother recognizing he's wrong and say, oh, my bad, pardon me, bro. This ego and sensitivity get involved, because again, that young man suffers also from emotional and mental damage. And again, we just get older and older and get better at coping with it and handling it and making it look like nothing's wrong. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, man, that's really what I want to push out this morning, and I also want to become, one that makes us more aware of this emotional and mental damage that we all suffer from in some form, way, or fashion, and we all must master these things to ever really get closer and closer to living the kind of life we really want. So anyway, with all that being said, peace and blessings, man. Y'all have a good, what this is, Thursday. Peace.